Welcome to the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast, sponsored by Redwood Living. Thank you for joining us today. I am Justin Allen Hayes, founder and executive director of Voices for Voices, host and Humanitarian. You can learn more about Voices for Voices on our Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube channel at Voices for Voices, and also on our website, voicesforvoices.org. Voices for Voices is a 501c3 nonprofit charity organization, otherwise referred to as an NGO, a non-government organization. And we survive solely on donations. So if you're able to, please consider heading over to voicesforvoices.org to help us continue our mission and the goal and dream of mine to help 3 billion people over the course of my lifetime and beyond. Or you can also send a donation to the mailing address of Voices for Voices, and that's at 2388 Beckett Circle, Stowe, Ohio, 44224. Or you can also find us on the Cash App at Voices for Voices. Are you or somebody you know looking for a volunteer opportunity? If so, you can reach out to us today via our email at president@voicesforvoices.org. Now, I founded Voices for Voices to provide a platform for folks to share their stories with others as we work to break the stigma around mental health, accessibility, and disabilities, helping people get the help they need while also helping them prepare or transition into the workforce with the Voices for Voices Career Center, where we connect talent with opportunity for both job seekers and employers alike, from coast to coast and in every industry and job level. And who can forget about merchandise? The Voices for Voices merchandise shop is up and running at voicesforvoices.org/shop, where shipping is always free, and again, all donations are 100% tax deductible. On today's show, we are grateful to have a couple of individuals who are instrumental to helping individuals temporarily live and relocate from Ukraine while the Russian aggression has occurred. And these two individuals I was able to meet on our mission trip a couple weeks back, where we were able to go to Kyiv, Ukraine, but then we were also able to go to Constanta, Romania. And that's where I met these two individuals, our guests, and they are the reason for the organization and for what occurs on a day-to-day basis of helping others. They are with the organization Life for Ukraine, and joining us via Zoom today in this episode from Constanta, Romania, are Claudio and Alex. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you for the invite. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. And it was an absolute pleasure to meet both of you, to hear the background and the story of how Life for Ukraine got started. So for our viewers, our listeners, those checking out the transcript for this episode, can you maybe talk a little bit about that, Alex or Claudio, however you want to tag team that?
I'm going to start with the beginning, which was the actual conflict that started in Ukraine. My brother-in-law, who's a pastor for the Life Lutheran Church in the U.S., saw what was happening at that time. He talked to his congregation, got some donations from them, and then he came to Romania to see what we can do in terms of helping people that are coming through the border. So together we went to the border, and for 4 days, it was from 8 in the morning until 1:30 at night. We went there. We helped the refugees. We tried to support them with transportation from the border to wherever destination they used to have, either Constanța or either Bucharest, or maybe even outside Romania, maybe Germany or Poland or whatever. So we were there. It was really high impact days that we did. We couldn't imagine the level of problems or the level of the need that the people, the refugees needed at that time. We were working together. We were volunteers when we were working with the Romanian organization and also the government organization as well. And then once we started getting the refugees towards Constanta, then we met Alex. Alex is born and raised in Constanta, and he was already doing great work in terms of housing and providing food to refugees. I'm going to let Alex continue on from here.
So I met Justin and his wife, which is from Romania, who is from Romania, and I think she's one of the reasons that everything was started.
Kind of the place, yeah.
Because she's from the same city as I am, and she came here back to Romania from Europe to help refugees. And she gave me a call in one night and asking me if I can provide some housing for, I think there were 12 of them. They were there with 2 cars, full of luggages and people. And I said I don't have enough place because at that time I only had, I don't know, 6 places left. And she said to me, okay, if you can take 6, then I can take the other 6. I will pay for them housing in somewhere in Constanta. We found the villa in there. And I said, okay, you can bring them. Building that we still use now, it's a building of offices, which when the war started, I transformed it into just
Refugee house.
Refugee house,
Yeah.
yeah. And luckily for me at that time, we had some beds, that all beds that we used to have on one of our old ship, and we mounted them over there. And okay, we had those offices that was rented to we asked them to leave. And we mounted those beds and we started to receive the refugees, I think on 2nd or 3rd of March 2022. And this should be the dates that were first met Justin and Lena. I was getting a lot of help because at that time, besides that, I was able to transform the building into a refugees house. Then I was also paying for the electricity, the water, but this I could sustain by myself. But I needed food, and to feed 50 people each day, it's not that easy. So I had a lot of NGOs. And thanks God, I also had some honest people, even that were coming from Ukraine, and they were staying there only for 1 night or 2 nights until they found a place to live. They were willing to pay for something only because I was helping other refugees that could not afford an hotel or somewhere to go, and they said, and I refused categorically the money. But they were still insisting that because they were helping their national people and not me. They're helping others that are in the same situation as they are, but they don't have any possibilities. And so there are what I'm going to say is that there are also honest people that they know that some other refugees do not have their possibilities and are willing to help also. And well, besides those people, I also had some NGO, international NGO, and people that was coming with food from their own houses because they heard about the center that I opened. And I had another, I don't know, 15 or 16, 16 people that are from Romania, from Constanta, that were volunteers that wanted to help. That was great, seeing a lot of people helping there, mounting beds and cooking food for them and doing everything, because we were at the beginning and we had to put everybody could come up with whatever they could. I mean, we needed everything at that moment. We had nothing, we only had that empty building. And we had to build another 2 toilets because for 50 people with the toilets were not enough. We had to build a new kitchen. We didn't have any dry washer, and I remember that Justin came with the washing machines and with the dryer also. Well, actually, when I first met him, Justin wanted to give me $200, and I said no. I have the money; I can do it by myself. And he said, "Okay, what do you need to help?" I said, "The washing machine." And he went back to the States and he paid for 2 washing machines and 2 dryers.
2 dryers, yeah.
He sent it over. So that counted a lot at that time because besides, okay, and after that, we got close, and I managed to present him another building, which a friend of mine that
Helped a lot as well. Yeah.
as well from Yash. He was also hiring buses, paying hotel for refugees, and he had a building in Constanza for his workers because he had a team here working for his business. He had a rock mine, and he was willing to transform his building also in a refugee center as I did. And then I talked to Justin and asked Justin if he's willing to help with, I don't know, with something, with whatever he can, maybe with some beds or something, because he didn't have beds, bunk beds, we needed. And then Justice said to me, let me think about it. We had a video conference and he said, let me think about it for half an hour and I will call back. And he called back and he said, I will take over the building if you're willing to give it to me. And I said, okay, we can do that. And he took over and he opened another center here in Constanta. So now we established a new NGO together, and we have 2 buildings, 2 centers for House of Refugees, receiving refugees, and now our centers are almost full because before the government was helping refugees with the accommodation by giving money to the owners that was giving accommodation for refugees, but now they do not anymore, and only for a period the refugees have to work. The money is is less than they were before, and a lot of refugees are coming back to our centers, so now we are almost full, and we support them not only with accommodation, but we also give them
Food, English classes, medicine, whatever they need.
we
So-
take them to the hospital. We take them to police to get
The temporary protection.
temporary protection. And Claudio can tell you more of that because he's our partner and he's more involved as I am. He's very active in helping.
Like I said, Justin,
environmental centers.
when we met, you were asking me what I do. I said I coordinate, but I'm also the plumber, the handyman, the one that goes to the hospital, the one that goes to the government officials. So whatever is needed, that's what I do.
Yeah, and you had corporate background, or have corporate background, and you put that on hold to do this work. Can you just talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so after those 4 days where we did the volunteer work, I went back to Bucharest for work because I couldn't get some more time. Justin went to the US, so it had a really huge impact for me. Now, after that, the centers were developed, and at one point, Justin reached out to me and said, "Hey, we need a person with experience that would run this center in Constanța." I had a bit of thought because for me it was like a 180 degrees change. It was totally different from what I was doing from project management in a corporation. But then I said yes. I came to Constanța, starting working and picking up as much as of the task as possible. And at the moment now, there are 2 centers that I'm running. Sometimes it's a bit of a hassle. It's a lot, but you always see the silver lining of your job. You always see the impact. And comparing to let's say an office job, a cubicle job, you will always see the result directly of the impact that you're having on these people, the people, the children, the whole community.
And besides that, what Claudio is meaning, that he's in contact with those people that are really need help because they cannot manage by themselves. Imagine that they don't know language, they don't know even English. The most critical thing is that they don't know even the Latin alphabet. So they when they come here and arrive in a country that uses Latin alphabet and English language, and which language that they don't know, they are in really need of help, and they Claudio is there for them. I used to do that also. We're doing
Yeah.
that together, but now I also have businesses. We have family business, and also I have some others things that I have to take care of. But Claudio now is doing most of the work, and is running those centers.
Alex is still modest. We do still stuff together because sometimes for one person it's a lot, and sometimes we do stuff together. Besides Alex, who's my best friend, now my second best friend is a translator on the phone. So that's how you get things done. Otherwise, you're gonna have issues.
Yeah, I mean, coming from that corporate life to where you're at now, you have transferable skills. So there's skills that you utilize in corporate and in this line of work. And being an instructor here in the States, and don't have to be a professor or instructor to understand, but what I've tried to convey to my students is when you go to an interview, when you apply to a job, one of the big things they say is, well, I don't have the experience, I don't have the skills needed. And I try to convey, you have a lot of the skills, whether it's working in teams, presenting, writing papers, project management. And can you maybe talk just a little bit more in depth to that, some of those skills that you're bringing to the table here?
So the first thing that you need to have is be very well organized. Whatever you put off for any other reason that you don't have a good organization, the things will come biting you back. Same as a job, same as here. People need your help now; they don't need it later. I used to do a lot of presentation in PowerPoint. I used to do a lot of Excels, reporting, stuff like that. I still do it at this job because I have Excels with people, Excels with birthdays, Excels with people that need funding, Excel that people that need medicine. So lots and lots of Excels. Sometimes we need to do PowerPoint presentation saying, hey, how many people did we help? How did we manage it? What was the period that we helped them? So it's still the skills that you have in your previous job, in my case, the corporation, you still use them day to day. Indeed, there's a more, in this job, there's a lot more mobility because you have to go to different different, offices. You have to go to different locations to help refugees, or you have to do for a bit of shopping. So it all helps in the long run. I used to think that I used to come to this job and do totally different stuff. I still have the back office stuff, like files and presentations and stuff like that. So it's still there. Of course, the experience helps, and also the human part. I used to be a team leader in the corporation. Then I switched to project management. The team leader role always helps because it's about human interaction, how people perceive you, how they follow whatever you tell them, how they help you in return of this. So all of the things that you do kind of intertwines with this current job. Even though it's a totally different scope, you'll be surprised how much of the things from a corporation transpose into the day-to-day life of running an NGO.
Yeah, thank you for that. How can people get involved if they are interested, whether they're a business owner or just an individual that wants to help out with the organization, whether that's monetarily, or how would you recommend that they touch base?
Well, for the monetary phase, we do have the Life Lutheran Church, which is in Long Island, New York. That's where Justin is, and there is a donation link there. There you can find it on the website. If not, after this call, I can send it to you as well. Just
Okay.
post it there. Um, there were a lot of initiatives from people from the earth. They say they wanted to come to volunteer. Indeed, the biggest part was at the beginning in those 3 months where we used to get lots and lots of people coming in. Now we don't see a lot of people coming in, but we do see a lot of efforts to help people that don't have a place to stay anymore, because now the hotels are opening. People are coming to Constanta for the seaside. So at the moment, it's still all hands on deck, based on pushing people around and trying to get them some shelter and some food. Some people are returning back. So back to your question, apart from the donation link, we're still working with like Eric is a volunteer that helps us out in the day-to-day work. So that's something that if someone is interested, I think there are possibilities to support, if not remotely, then if you want to do like a 3-day course in Constance of how to work for a center, hit us up. we'll be happy to help volunteers.
Great. Any last topics that we didn't cover that you'd like to share?
So I think that the thing that I wanted to cover, and I think this is the human aspect of this. I was extremely impressed because I didn't do a lot of volunteer work until now. I used to do corporation work. I didn't really do a lot of volunteer because Romania is not really, let's say, a volunteer-based country compared to the US. When I went there, those 4 days left a huge impact for me, in order to see how many people came from their home, either took day off, or they came there, and they're trying to help as much as possible the refugees. Meeting Alex, who has started a center without any external support, with his own money, with his own stuff, and he started helping. For him, it was strangers. He didn't know these people. They were just people that were in a war. They needed help, and no questions asked. Let's see what we can do. And this is how this homogenization of people that they're trying to support. This is how I met Alex. This is how working together with Justin. This is how we met you. So people converging on the same scope, and at the end of the day, it's helping people. So this is the human aspect. I was overwhelmed, to say the least, when I used to see lots and lots of people helping out and meeting new people that had the same goal and have the same willingness to support.
I was telling you when you were here that also before I opened my center with this guy from the that I told you that was also involved with refugees. He brought about 2 buses, and we managed to keep us There were 25 people, I'm sorry, only one bus. 25 people in one of my friend's villa, who has a tourist villa in the city center of Constanta, and she also received refugees. She accepted to receive refugees, but the only condition he had is to keep them until the summer, because in the summer he has a business day, and even when the summer came, he kept another 7 or 8, few rooms with refugees because he couldn't throw them out. He's another good friend of mine, Anton is his name. And the first refugees that we received, they were on 28th, I think 28th of February.
Yeah.
And this is what I wanted to mention also.
So people that had hotels, they put them up, for free to the refugees. So that really counted a lot, actually.
Yeah, I had a girl, friend of mine that gave us about 7 or 8 apartments. I don't know how many we were able to accommodate there, around 50 persons, something like that, for free. She gave us the apartments for free, but only until the summer, also, of course, because it's their business. We can understand.
Yeah.
And uh,
You do make a lot of connections with people. So now, working with refugees for more than a year now, we are in contact with different NGOs. We're in contact with the Romanian government institutions. So it's always good to have networking skills as well, because you can have your ears open for people that need support. And we constantly get either phone calls or messages saying, "Hey, I have this old lady, I have this family, I have these children, I have multiple people that need support," and they ask, and if we cannot house them, if we're full, or if we try to find any other solution. So that's extremely important, of working as a team with everyone.
and because I was telling you about the woman, the friend of mine that gave us 8 apartments, uh, Sandra is her name. I remember that she was calling me because she was telling me that she had one woman with 2 kids, and when she heard the NATO helicopters, she was hiding under the thing with her kids, and she was very scared. So we had pretty dramatic situation with people really scared of the war. And that woman needed also psychiatrist help, and she was here only with her by herself with the 2 kids, and it was very difficult. We had many situations like that, but thanks God we could provide it just a little help that we could, and hope that counted for the people that were needed, that needed that help.
Great. Well, thank you both for joining from Constanta, Romania. So we weren't able to do it in person, but this is the next best way to do it. Thank you, Claudio. Thank you, Alex. If you'll stick around,
Thank you.
We'll grab some photos for promo, and we'll go from there. And we also want to thank you, our viewers, our listeners. If you're reading our transcript about this episode was about Life for Ukraine organization that is centered in Constanta, Romania, helping Ukrainian refugees, everything from housing to food, doctor's appointments, working with the government and the police, and really across the board. And great work that they're doing, and I was grateful to be able to spend just a couple days seeing the people there and visiting. If you're able to help out monetarily, please check out the link that we'll be adding in the show notes, as well as you could check out the Facebook page, Life for Ukraine. You can get through that way too, that donate section. So thank you again to our guests, Alex and Claudio, for joining us. And this has been another episode of the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. I am Justin Allen Hayes, founder and executive director at Voices for Voices. And until next time, we hope you have a great day and be a voice for you or somebody in need.